The story opens in the intense, fast-paced environment of a bustling city hospital, where every second counts. A wealthy and prominent man named Norman is rushed through the emergency doors in critical condition. The medical staff immediately springs into action, and among them is a dedicated and hard-working nurse named Lisa. Working tirelessly alongside the lead doctor, Lisa does everything in her power to stabilize the wealthy patient. Through their combined relentless efforts, they manage to pull Norman back from the brink of death, slowly nursing him toward recovery. A few days later, the hospital administration calls Lisa in to present her with a lavish gift. They inform her that the gift was sent by Norman as a token of his immense gratitude. However, Lisa is a woman of strict professional principles. She politely but firmly declines the expensive present. Shortly after, Norman personally approaches her, expressing his deep admiration. He tells her that she is incredibly hardworking and that she literally saved his life, which is why he wanted to reward her. Lisa, remaining grounded, gently explains that she was simply doing her job and fulfilling her duty as a nurse. With that, she returns the gift directly to him. But Norman is not a man who gives up easily. The very next day, a barrage of extravagant gifts begins arriving for Lisa. He sends them not only to the hospital but also to her private residence. Despite the overwhelming attention, Lisa steadfastly refuses to accept any of them. However, Norman's persistent displays of affection and undeniable charm slowly begin to break down her walls. She finds herself thinking about him constantly. By the time Norman has fully recovered and is ready to be discharged, a deep connection has formed between them. Norman confesses that he was captivated by her from the very beginning, and Lisa realizes that her feelings have grown to match his. Lisa had always harbored a simple dream of finding a good, caring husband, and Norman seemed to fit that mold perfectly. During one of their intimate conversations, Norman makes a heartfelt promise to Lisa. He vows to love her forever and to fill her life with boundless happiness. He also opens up about his past, revealing that his first wife passed away from a tragic illness and that he has a son from that marriage. Hearing this does not deter Lisa in the slightest. If anything, she is fully prepared to embrace her new life with him. Within a matter of days, the couple decides to tie the knot. Because Norman is a man of immense wealth and status, their wedding is a grand, luxurious affair, celebrated with great pomp and show. After the spectacular wedding, Lisa arrives at Norman's massive estate. She spends her first few days excitedly exploring the sprawling property. While wandering the grounds, she finds herself near the stables, where she spots a young man riding a horse. This is Noah, Norman's son from his previous marriage. After finishing his ride, Noah approaches Lisa and politely congratulates her on the wedding. Just then, Norman joins them. The atmosphere is noticeably tense, and Noah, clearly not a man of many words, abruptly excuses himself and walks away. Norman then explains to Lisa that despite being the son of a wealthy man, Noah prefers a rugged lifestyle. He chooses to do odd jobs around the estate and lives independently in a small, rustic cabin located nearby on the property. Following the tour, the newlyweds retire to their grand bedroom, losing themselves in the passion of their new marriage. However, the honeymoon phase is abruptly cut short. The very next morning, Norman informs Lisa that an urgent business matter has come up, requiring him to leave town for an entire week. Lisa is understandably disappointed and saddened, as she had looked forward to spending this romantic time with her new husband. With Norman gone, Lisa quickly finds herself engulfed in boredom and loneliness. Having quit her job as a nurse after the wedding, she is left wandering the empty halls of the mansion, struggling to pass the time. A long, solitary week finally passes, and Norman returns home. But to Lisa's dismay, another urgent business crisis arises that very same night. Lisa pleads with him to stay, trying to hold on to the brief moments they have together. But for Norman, business always comes first. He leaves the house once again, leaving Lisa behind in the massive, quiet estate. The following morning, Lisa is looking out over the property when she notices Noah preparing to leave on his motorcycle. Standing nearby is the housemaid, who is aggressively trying to stop Noah from leaving, insisting on something trivial. Noah just wants to retreat to his peaceful cabin. Seeing the commotion, Lisa steps in and firmly takes Noah's side, reprimanding the maid and sending her away. Once they are alone, Noah expresses his sincere gratitude to Lisa for intervening. Sensing an opportunity to escape her boredom, Lisa mentions that she would love to see his cabin. Noah tells her that it is situated quietly by the river. Eager for a change of scenery, Lisa insists on going right then. Noah agrees, and they both hop onto his motorcycle, speeding toward the riverside property. Noah's cabin is beautiful but extremely rustic, completely lacking electricity. Lisa immediately offers to help him with his daily chores, but Noah, accustomed to his solitary and independent life, politely declines her assistance and begins working on his own. While she waits, Lisa receives a phone call from Norman. She casually informs her husband that she is currently spending the day at Noah's cabin. The next morning, Noah is taking a refreshing bath in the cool waters of the nearby river when Lisa arrives at the cabin once again. She calls out to him, and when he emerges, she surprises him with a brand new generator she brought along to finally provide his cabin with electricity. Noah is genuinely touched and thrilled by her thoughtful gesture. That evening, to celebrate, the two of them head out to a local bar. They spend hours drinking, laughing, and dancing the night away. Noah ends up drinking far too much, and by the time they return to the cabin, he is completely intoxicated and falls fast asleep inside the car. Instead of waking him, Lisa decides to take advantage of the quiet, moonlit night. She undresses and steps into the calm river for a late-night swim. Meanwhile, Noah suddenly wakes from his drunken slumber. He steps out of the car and is instantly mesmerized upon seeing Lisa bathing in the river. He feels a strong urge to approach her, but fear and hesitation hold him back, keeping him frozen in the shadows. After finishing her swim, Lisa quietly gets dressed and leaves without saying a word, fully aware that Noah had been awake and watching her. The next day, Noah is back to his usual routine of working around the cabin when Lisa returns. Today, she is determined to help him, and Noah finally relents, realizing he enjoys her company. The two spend the entire day working side by side, sharing deep conversations and slowly breaking down the barriers between them. The undeniable chemistry begins to grow stronger with every passing hour. That night, back at the main mansion, Lisa is searching through Norman's home office for some documents when she accidentally stumbles upon his personal medical file. As she reads through the papers, a cold realization washes over her. The file clearly states that Norman is medically incapable of ever fathering a child. Lisa is devastated. The primary reason she had agreed to marry him was her deep desire to become a mother and build a family. Now looking at the undeniable medical proof, her dreams shatter before her eyes. When Norman returns home the next day, Lisa immediately confronts him with the medical file. Norman tries to defend himself, explaining that he was perfectly fine until a severe illness 5 years ago robbed him of his ability to have children. He insists that he is currently undergoing specialized medical treatment and promises that he will be cured soon. However, Lisa's resentment has already taken root. She realizes that Norman has been failing to satisfy not only her emotional and family dreams, but her physical desires as well. A few days later, Norman is called away on yet another business trip. The moment he is gone, Lisa wastes no time. She rushes straight to Noah's cabin by the river. She finds him bathing in the water, and this time there is no hesitation. She approaches him, the tension between them finally boiling over, and they share an intensely passionate and intimate encounter. Later that day, Lisa returns to the mansion, glowing from her time with Noah, only to find Norman waiting for her in the living room. His face is twisted with rage. He coldly reveals that he had been suspicious of her behavior for days and had been secretly having her followed. He tells her that he witnessed everything between her and Noah at the river. Norman furiously declares that he is going to destroy her life, but before he deals with her, he is going to exact his brutal revenge on the stepson who betrayed him. Panic sets in and Lisa desperately chases after him, determined to stop the violence. By the time she finally arrives at the cabin, she is screaming for both of them. Hearing her frantic cries, a terrified Noah cautiously emerges from the cabin. Lisa follows his trembling gaze to the rocky ravine below, where she sees Norman's bloodied and unconscious body sprawled across the jagged stones. Horrified, Lisa immediately dials emergency services and calls for an ambulance, rushing Norman to the hospital. At the hospital, as doctors fight to save Norman's life, the police arrive to investigate the incident. They question Lisa first. Playing the part of the distressed wife perfectly, Lisa tells the police a half-truth. She claims that she found Norman unconscious when she arrived at the cabin. She admits that Norman falsely suspected her of having an affair with Noah and had gone to the cabin to violently confront him. The police then interrogate Noah, who corroborates the story. Noah tearfully confesses that his father came to the cabin with murderous intent. In order to save his own life, Noah pushed him away, which tragically resulted in Norman slipping and falling down the rocky cliff. Both of them carefully hide the actual truth of their illicit affair from the authorities. Moments later, the lead doctor steps out of the emergency room with grim news. Norman has succumbed to his injuries and is dead. Lisa immediately breaks down into theatrical tears, while the police, having heard Noah's confession of the physical altercation, place the young man under arrest and take him into custody. The following day, Lisa visits Noah in the county jail. Through the glass, she looks him in the eye and asks if he intentionally murdered his father. Noah desperately pleads with her, explaining that it was purely self-defense. If he hadn't pushed Norman, his father would have killed him right then and there. Lisa, knowing the truth of Norman's rage, easily believes him and promises to support him. Weeks later, the highly publicized trial begins. The aggressive state prosecutor paints Noah as a greedy, calculated killer, arguing that he murdered his wealthy father solely to inherit the vast estate. However, Noah's defense attorney skillfully dismantles the prosecutor's narrative, presenting compelling evidence that Noah acted entirely in self-defense to survive a violent attack, making the death a tragic accident, not a murder. After days of intense courtroom drama and testimonies, the jury finally reaches a verdict, and Noah is fully acquitted of all charges and released from custody. Breathing a sigh of relief, Noah and Lisa return to the quiet riverside cabin, believing their nightmare is finally over. But as they stand in the cabin, the atmosphere shifts drastically. A chilling smile spreads across Lisa's face as she casually reveals her dark master plan. She confesses to a horrified Noah that she never loved Norman. She married him exclusively for his massive fortune. She then drops the ultimate bombshell. It was her own friend who intentionally tipped Norman off about their Riverside affair. Lisa orchestrated the entire scenario, knowing Norman's violent temper would lead him to attack Noah, and banking on the fact that the younger, stronger Noah would kill his father in self-defense. Noah is completely paralyzed by the sheer evil of her confession. Boiling with rage and a sense of ultimate betrayal, he lunges forward to attack Lisa. But before he can even reach her, her sinister plan is finally complete. By manipulating the father and son into destroying each other, she has eliminated all errors and obstacles, securing the entirety of Norman's vast wealth for herself to enjoy. The story ends with Lisa standing victorious in the silent cabin, having literally gotten away with murder.